Hello, everyone. The lights have gone out over VANTAM. Get your lanterns. Okay. Except for some lanterns up on a stage. And on that stage, we see three really, figures. One of them is Bartimus, hero for hire, inventor extraordinaire. You have been in the city of VANTAM for about 2 days, and it has been a bit of a disaster so far. Wait, that is the wrong thing.
Oh, it hasn't been a disaster.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a disaster.
It's fine.
Everything's good here. We're fine. How are you?
Everything's actually fine, except the fact that the lights went out over VANTAM. And you are up on this stage, and you are about to give a little bit of a demonstration when everything goes dark. And you're not sure why. It just seems to happen. Nobody who's in the crowd seems to be very surprised by this. So you think, well, carry on. You have your work lights and your assistant with you, so this should be just fine. In fact, maybe it's just sort of a dramatic way to introduce your marvelous machine. Now, as I mentioned, there's a small crowd that is gathered outside of Resolve, and they are watching you very intently. Among them, you see a whole mix of people, but one of them is a half-orc who is standing, and he's not just watching you, he's watching the whole crowd. And you've been told before you started your demonstration, if anything goes wrong, this half-orc is the one you should turn to for help. Now, you can't imagine anything would possibly go wrong because you're about to change the entire world in an instant, but it's good to know that I guess the people of VANTAM have your back. Speaking of this half-orc watching over the crowd, why don't you tell us about them?
Yeah.
Adam Conn.
So as you look back, and Thorn is kind of standing in this darkened corner a little bit with his arms crossed. But what we had seen from him before, he was seemed somewhat joyous. He was a half-orc man about to get out of prison. He looks a lot more disheveled now. Like you actually see this massive scar like from the bottom of his neck that goes down into his uniform. And what he's actually wearing as well too, it looks like a prison uniform. That he's got like a patch on it that says it was Ironside Prison from under the water. And you also notice that he has like this little locket that he's wearing around his neck. His hair, he's got it just pulled back really low. And he just has this very stern face looking forward. Very stoic almost. Not wavering, not moving, not smiling or happy.
So you're looking out over the crowd, and everything seems to be mostly okay. But your main concern, of course, is the two people who are on stage. One of them, of course, is this man who is currently, ratcheting a few things and bolting down a couple of things on this whatever machine. You don't know what it does. You just keep hearing the word machine. You don't really know how it applies to you. But you just know that your job is to keep him and his assistant, apparently, or whoever she is, safe. And as you're looking over there, you see that there's this little maybe it looks like a rain cloud or something that is floating around this woman's head. And you sort of focus and you're looking at that. And May, why don't you tell us who it is who has this little rain cloud floating around?
Most importantly, the rain cloud is named Cumulus.
Most obviously the most important.
That's all you need to know. Cumulus is one of those fluffy clouds. If you know your cloud facts, you know that by the name. But the elf, or sylph as she is named Lenore, and she's kind of like, imagine like Magical Girl meets like steampunk, like lots of like poofs and frills, and she loves blue. And she has short black hair, and she is also wearing a kind of large over-the-top witch hat that also is kind of in the same like frilly style, and she almost kind of like skips and floats around as she goes.
Excellent. And of course, you're standing there assisting the man who's actually giving this demonstration, who, as I had already mentioned, is Bartimus, but I would love to know from Bartimus himself, tell us about your character. Who is this?
Well, my name is Bartimus. And Bartimus is he's a distinguished human male. Goes by he/him pronouns and is very moderately sized in terms of height and weight. He wears a thick leather coat, usually has work gloves on, and has spectacles, a hat, many things that might identify him as some sort of inventor or tinkerer or craftsman of some kind. And while he's working on the machine that you have, or the contraption that is under this top, you notice that he's not just assisted by Lenore or Cumulus. He, in fact, is assisted as well by his very best friend Philip, who is indeed a little teddy bear that is, sort of for unknown reasons, floating around. Doesn't seem to be necessarily an articulated bear, but just a teddy bear that is just floating there in the air.
Floating teddy bear. So it's as if like it's the end of an eclipse, and the sun is shining once again on this bright Vantam day, and you are standing on this stage, and there is a crowd of people all sort of like breathlessly watching you. You get the last bolt tightened down. You're fairly certain that everything is in order. Now all that's left to do is explain to the crowd of onlookers what wonders they're about to behold, and then flip the switch.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, other, neither, and both, thank you all so much for being here. Please, 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 that's not necessary. Thank you, thank you. No one is clapping, of course. But please, 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 thank you, thank you. My name is Bartimus, Alagaster, Reginald, Thaddeus, Ignatius, Meriwether, Ulysses, Sumatrap. Or if you're into the brevity thing, you could always just use my initials. B-A-R-T-I-M-U-S. But anyways, enough about me. This here is my very best friend, Philip. Say hello, Philip. Philip just sort of floats there. Oh, calm down, Philip, calm down. Oh, he can get quite talkative. I know. As can I, I'm very verbose. I would also like to introduce you to Lenore, who's been helping me alongside her faithful companion, Cumulus. Wave to the crowd.
Hello. Hi.
Fantastic, Lenore, fantastic. All right, well, now I appreciate you all being here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Just wait.
Wait for what?
My camera. All right, so thank you all so much for joining me. I'm sure you have many questions and are wondering what it is here that you have joined this crowd for. Well, let me dwell upon things no longer. Let's instead use action. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go for it, Lenore. And Lenore knows the cue is to pull off the tarp. And you see before you this really, it looks like maybe at one point it would have been some type of covered cart, conceivably horse-drawn, though you don't see any horses attached to it currently. There's all this piping that's going along the outside, brass, tin, other types of metals, some tarnished, some new, some worn, all sorts of amalgamation of things. It's genuinely a curiosity because it looks like a box that has a whole bunch of thingamabobs on it. And he says, oh, yes. Hold your applause. Fear not, though, fear not. Let me introduce to you the Mithracite Atmospheric Removal Kiosk Unmanned System, or as I like to call it, M.A.R.K.U.S. And much like the venerable wizard of old, this machine here is going to change the world. But fear not. I know you may be wondering, what could this machine do? How could it possibly help me in my average life? Well, I assure you that this machine is powerful, incredible, astounding. In fact, I dare say, like the wizard itself, it may very well hold the power of the universe. Yes. Not just a claim that I say lightly. No. I back up my words with actions. Now, Lenore, show these people what we're here for. She knows the next cue.
I will pull the lever.
That's it, Lenore, you're doing it. And then flip the switch, press the button, and toot the horn. That one's
Toot,
just
toot.
for me, kids. All right. And so with sort of without really any fanfare, nothing happens initially. And then you actually see like where there's sort of this like glass or translucent material, you actually start to see it almost like glowing, but it's like it's like rising up in color as it goes, and it's kind of evolving from like blues and purples, greens, oranges. It's going, and then the machine starts to kind of shake, and it starts real low, and there's kind of like this hum, and then like the whole stage starts to shake, and then from points on the machine, lightning actually starts to arc from part to part, piece to piece, and then it actually starts to shoot down to the ground around Bartimus, basically like a Tesla coil. And he's like, fear not, no one worry, this machine is perfectly safe. You can see, you just watch Philip. He's fine, aren't you, Philip? Philip just sort of floats there. He's like, great work, Philip. You've sure calmed them. So, as you can see, everyone, the Mithracite atmospheric removal is already happening before your very eyes. That's right. The plague, the poison, the unfortunate circumstances you've all been living under are soon to be a thing of the past, as this machine right here is inhaling all that dirty air, and it is cleaning it and cleansing it and removing that particulate that has for so long forsaken this city. And then it is pumping out clean, beautiful, wonderful air. Isn't that right, Lenore?
The cleanest.
The cleanest. You heard it here first. And so, you may now applaud.
So Lenore is standing up on stage and clapping, and you're looking out over this crowd, and they're all still watching you, and you can sort of hear, like, actually, Thorn, because you're especially sort of focused on the crowd and all of this. You sort of tuned out the jabbering man. But I would like you to make a perception check.
Perception.
First roll.
Cool. That is going to be a 18.
18. Okay. So you're looking out at the crowd, and you can see that, like, now that there's first there's this awkward pause, and people are there's a reaction, but it's sort of a low, like nobody's clapping. First of all, that's for certain. And
I
everybody's
don't
just
know
sort of
that I would
watching
say
all this
nobody.
happen.
Lenore
is
was
clapping.
clapping.
Lenore is clapping.
All right.
I was
And
getting a pity
you
clap.
start to see that people are getting a little agitated. Nothing that strikes much alarm in you at first, though you can hear like there's some, like, you see some, not a lot of anger necessarily directed up at the stage, but people are starting to, like, argue amongst each other a little bit. You can just start, it's starting this low sort of rumble, and as it gets a little bit louder, like somebody from the crowd shouts, like, "What's it doing? It's not doing anything. This is a waste of our time."
Well, now it's actually doing quite a bit, good sir. I'm glad you've asked. It may seem like not much is happening, but I assure you that the air purification... I'll just wait. Yeah, the air purification is happening before your very eyes, and ears, nose, and mouth. It is all happening here, in the air around you. Already this room is becoming much cleaner and more breathable.
Lenore, you can see that people are just not impressed. They don't, because, like, this doesn't make any sense to them. And you get the feeling that him going on isn't, like, helping the situation. Like, they don't seem to be buying any of this. In fact, you start to actually hear specific shouts of, like, "Go home! We don't need you in your box. Get
Well,
out of
there's
here!"
no reason to get excitable.
How long does this take again?
Oh, well, with a room this large, this space here should be clear in a matter of a few weeks' time.
Maybe we should just let it do the thing. I don't think they're happy with us. I don't know why.
Oh, of course they're happy. Look at that crowd out there. There's already sort of a wave of people coming towards the stage. I can see how excited they are. Yes, don't press. Just come forward. Come see the machine
maybe not.
gently. Be nice to
I
everyone.
don't think they know we're helping them.
There's plenty of time. Oh, we're very much helping. We're definitely helping. Philip, tell everyone that we're helping.
I was gonna
Thorn,
say,
you can see that people are getting more and more agitated. And again, nothing that really gives you any, like people are just, it's really just arguments. And you know that there's just been sort of a low grade tension ever since it was announced that representatives from Heroic Endeavors Incorporated were coming in. And the only thing that catches your eye that you see that you're like, okay, maybe there's something going on here, is you see there's a group of younger people who are all like, they're not watching Bartimus and Lenore at all. They're like huddled around each other and they're like looking down at something, and like you having come from your particular background, like you can tell when a group of kids are about like psyching each other up to do something, and like you just spot it.
How far away from me are they?
It's not very, I mean, maybe like, 30 feet away. There's a lot of crowd between you and them, but probably nothing you couldn't handle.
Yeah, I'll actually, I definitely see that. I hear him yammering up on the stage. I'll make my way through the crowd.
Sure.
Towards them.
Make just a quick athletics check for me.
Oh, athletics check, you say? Pushing people out of the way. 22.
22, yeah. So your imposing presence really sort of makes it so you don't have to push your way through the crowd so much. People just sort of easily part before you. You're just sort of raw physicality is enough that people just don't mess with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else, Lenore or Bartimus, but
I'll do
people
more.
are starting to get a little like, somebody is like shouting like, a few weeks, this is a joke, get him out of here.
Well, now hang on.
Shut this whole thing
That
down.
was because it's on the lowest setting and we haven't calibrated it, have we, Lenore? Now join me here, Lenore, and we'll calibrate the machine and everything will be fine. We'll get that time down in no time at all.
And you don't have to do anything. You can just wait, and we'll take care of it all.
Yes, of course. So we begin tinkering at the machine, or I begin tinkering again at the machine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're looking at the machine. Yeah, I was just curious if there's anything you because I know that you have sort of a different skill set from Bartimus. He's tinkering with the machine. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
I was trying to think if I could do any kind of like entertainment, but I'm not picking up that vibe.
Well, I think the thing that people seem to be most upset about is like they don't see anything happen. Like there's these it's like somebody turned a Tesla coil on and they were expecting this big like show, and people are starting to get really riled up and agitated, like thinking that like this is a giant waste of their. It's another HEI scam. No, this machine probably doesn't do anything. It's ridiculous.
A scam? No, of course. Look at these readings. Already you're seeing there's been at least 3 grams of mithracite removed. And so, as I'm tweaking, as she's going to do what she's going to do, the lightning is still going, but it starts to intensify, starts to go even faster, and it's changing in color, and the vibration's going even faster, and then smoke's kind of starting to billow out from the machine.
Oh no.
But he's like, oh, don't worry, it will purify that smoke as well. It's no problem. But as you can see, we were on the lowest setting before. Now we've gone up 2 levels to level 6.
Thorn, you get to these kids pretty easily, and they like look at you, and you can see that they're like surrounding this. There's this wooden bucket of rotten fruit at their feet, and they look at you, and like one of them like just like drops one, and they're looking at you.
Look at him and I just clap my hand on the shoulder of like the one kid to my left. I'm like, what are you doing?
Nothing.
No. You
No.
gonna eat that meat?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Bucket sitting at your feet.
That's not my bucket.
Whose bucket is it?
I don't know. It was here.
And I reach down and I grab the kid by like the collar shirt and I just yank him like straight in my face. Tell me whose meat that is and what you were gonna do with it.
Make an intimidation check.
I can do
And
that.
you hear Bartimus from on stage, and now we're at level J.
Intimidation. 12.
12. He actually like sort of like wriggles free from your grasp. He's like, get out of here! And like all the kids just scatter. Like they leave.
Scatter!
Yeah, they just run. But you seem to have diffused whatever. Like it's pretty obvious they were just here to cause trouble, and you seem to have diffused that pretty well.
Pick
at the
up
very
the
minimum.
meat, the bucket of meat, and start walking back to my post.
And start walking back to your post. you are tinkering with this machine, and you are going at it, and you keep cranking it up, and you think like, surely, like we're at level J now, like clear, they'll see the benefits, obviously. But I need to make a perception check for me, or craft, whichever one.
Oh, all right. Let's go with crafting.
Yeah.
I'm very crafty. Here we go. So crafty, 24.
24. Okay, yeah. So you notice it pretty early on as
Yes.
you crank up to the next level. There is this weird little chugging sound. Now, there's a lot of chugging.
Yeah, of
This
course.
particular chugging sound doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence. And there is...
boy.
the
The dust level
has
went
gone
up!
up.
Oh no! But my machine is supposed to be working!
And a
wild
wild
magic.
Not a good
Sarah,
time.
Sarah must be in the chat somewhere.
A wild magic appears at the most perfect time. At the absolute most perfect
God.
time.
Jim's like, I don't even have to write it.
I'll have you. Oh, you know what, Lenore?
No.
Lenore, roll me a d10.
Okay. I guess I can do
Let's
that.
do it in the hero
Okay.
hero
Hero
point
box.
box over
I
there.
am going to roll in the super magical hero box that's going to give me something really great and useful right now.
Here we go.
Well,
Is that a 1?
it's a one.
It's a 1.
It's a 1. You all,
usually good.
everybody, notices there is, at first, what appears to you two like a light sprinkling of snow. Except the snow is more like a glittery kind of substance. And people are starting to lose their minds. You know, because that is the first sign of a sudden and unexpected dust storm. And you are all sort of outside, like watching this demonstration unfold. And like people, like as the, like your first instinct is like, we have to go.
Yeah.
We have got to get inside. However, you are standing up on this stage and you start to hear this chugging sound and it is getting worse and worse and worse. And then the lights go out
God.
and your machine starts to bulge in the back.
Oh dear me!
There is this scream of metal. Go ahead and tell me what you were gonna do.
I just wanted to go back down to level purple.
Sure. You crank it on down to
that
level
was
purple.
purple.
The lightning tower on your machine like explodes.
Oh dear me! Wasn't supposed
People
to.
are screaming as dust begins to fall. And you see that the containment chamber for the dust that the machine collects, there's like this little door on it that flies open.
Oh!
And this weird, bubbling, multicolored goop that looks a lot like, are you familiar with kinetic sand?
Oh yes, I'm
Oh,
very.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is like a giant mass of glittery kinetic sand that is just spilling out of your machine. And you think, well, I mean, that's not good. It certainly wasn't intended. But what gets even worse is that a piece of it like begins to lift itself, seemingly of its own volition, and snake its way towards you. And you realize that things have gotten so far out of hand. And what I need all of you to do before we do anything else is roll a fortitude save.
Oh dear me!
I'm good with fortitude.
A fortitude save, you say?
19.
19.
Is this a fear effect?
No.
That's a 13.
A 13.
Oh dear me!
I rolled a 2.
You do have a hero point.
18.
I can't die in the first roll, right?
Well, the interesting news is that you all failed.
I use a hero point.
The other interesting thing is that we're about to learn about mutations. Because this wild surge of unexpected dust has impacted all of you in a permanent way. Adam Conn, roll a d10.
Oh no!
Wait, the wild magic was a mutation for each of us?
Yep.
What, Sarah?
I thought this was
Hey,
just for
Rady,
Bartimus.
you get the permanent boost.
Wow!
All right, I got an 8.
An 8. Your skin, your whole body starts to feel a little rubbery. It's not bad, but it's really weird, and you have to sort of focus to keep your form. You gain the compression special ability. You can now squeeze your jellified body through tight spaces. But you are clumsy 1, which is pretty nasty.
Oh no!
Wow. That is a horrible negative.
Oh no!
You have a jelly body.
I have a jelly body and I'm
You're a jellyman.
Oh, no.
Lenore, roll a d10.
Okay.
jelly biceps.
My character that I just made. I thought about drawing her today, but I guess maybe it's a good thing I waited, huh? 7.
7. Okay. Interesting. Not that bad.
Okay.
Your skin begins to glow.
Ooh.
We can
Forever. You shed light as a torch would, but you cannot control it. You are always glowing.
Oh, that's bad for stealth.
As she starts to
Cute.
glow, I'm like, oh, thank you, Lenore. I can see much better now. And he begins
It
working.
does help in the current dark situation.
I have dark vision. Does that make me like impaired if I like?
No,
more-
you can still
No,
see
I'm not
normally in
listening to
light, but
Okay.
you certainly now don't really need your dark vision because you always shed light
Okay,
now.
cool. Get rid of all those light spells, I guess.
Bartimus, roll a d10.
A D10. All right.
Goodness.
Count it, of course. A 9.
A
79. Let's go.
As you are looking, you can suddenly hear everything a lot better. The screaming of the crowd, the weird bubbling of this dusty ooze thing, even the internal workings of Philip as he floats nearby. You can also see a lot sharper. And you see, Lenore, it's because his eyes and his ears have gotten comically large. You get a +2 bonus to all perception checks. However, you have a -2 penalty on saves against any visual or auditory effects, and you are vulnerable to sonic. So you have weakness to sonic, which means that anytime you take sonic damage, you will take an extra 2 points. As you have all been permanently mutated by this surge of dust. And this dust like dissipates almost as quickly as it came.
about Philip?
However, there is still this weird surging mass of gunk that is coming towards Bartimus. And now we can roll initiative.
Oh, my goodness. There were so many things that
There
happened
were so
before.
many things that happened.
Does
Oh.
Philip get mutated?
Poop.
Philip will go whenever he's commanded to do things.
Would I be using... And I don't mind either way. You just tell me. Should this be perception or should this be crafting, as that was the last thing I was doing?
I think for this one, perception still works.
All right,
best,
that's
yeah.
fine.
But neat thing is you get
I
that
have a +2.
you have a
Now, you said that's a
bonus.
-2 to auditory and
So
visual.
auditory and visual effects, yeah,
Got
anything
it.
that would like blind you or deafen you or like cause like a bright light or something, you would take a -2 penalty on the saves. So we have initiative is rolled. We're going. Here we go. This weird surging mass of goo. The lights come back on, illuminating everything. It's suddenly so bright, and you have to. It's almost blinding at first. Your eyes are so big.
Maybe
and
the
it's
glow
taking
went
all
away.
that light.
Oh, dear.
But you still do have a chance to react to what's happening. What is your initiative?
28.
Oh, yes, you were ready for something. Thorn, you see that things are going wild up on stage. What is your initiative?
Thorn's used to this sort of stuff and everything, but now he's like super clumsy. It's like it hits the bottom of like the stair and gets a 13.
Aw.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
A 13.
13.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll put
Starting
me
good. Starting good,
first.
friends.
Okay.
So there be
What
some
if I
one wins
rolled
this
higher?
one.
Yeah, you don't know.
Well, then I won't be first.
You don't know. He's just meddling. He doesn't.
I rolled
he
a
just,
25,
he
so
wants,
I'm not first.
Yeah, so you're not first. But you should have just said it was higher, and I would have been like, it's okay.
I'm
get
on
the-
stage and my glow helps me see the ooze that is
Yeah.
coming for him.
The glow is shockingly helpful to everybody else. I mean, like you would have been fine
Is it a
either
certain
way.
color?
Well,
or
what color would you want it to be?
Pink.
Pink, yeah. At first, it's just like a normal like white like glow, but the more you think about like, well, I don't know, I guess like maybe I should embrace this. What can I do with it? And you focus on pink really hard, and the light turns pink.
can
You can
change
change.
the
You can't turn
color.
it off, but you can change the color.
Oh, how beautiful.
God.
She's a Gove light.
Oh, I'm about to become a mood lamp.
Bartimus, you are first to react as this weird globby monstrosity starts to surge towards you.
Oh, dear me. This is not what I expected. All right, everybody calm down. Everyone stay calm. This is all perfectly what it is. And He said, well, I didn't want to have to do this, but he sort of like, you know, like the that scene in that Mission Impossible where like he like arm locks, like he like loads his arms. Like that's like what like Bartimus is like, all right. And he does this, and it's just sort of like his coat sort of like comically extends, like almost like a slinky, and then comes back, and then this side goes down and comes back and like locks into place. And he's like, all right, I guess we'll do this. And that was him overdriving.
Overdrive.
So
You make a craft
I have
check
to make a craft check to see if I can
to activate
succeed
your
at that.
powers.
I believe I have just succeeded. That is a 20.
A 20 is precisely a success.
So, okay, great. So, all right, well, now I'll handle this. I'll handle this. And he says, okay. And he sort of takes off his scarf. And he's like, now get back, you. Get back. And he sort of like waves his scarf at it. But like those that are really perceptive will see that his scarf, like, when he's doing that, sort of flicks out longer and much quicker than you would expect. Thorn, you might notice there's like a little glint of metal on it. And this is his striking bladed scarf. So
Okay.
he will attempt to hit this thing.
Blade scarf.
Strike away.
To scoot it back.
Blade
Sweep,
scarf.
sweep it away.
24 to hit.
24, not just a hit, but it is a critical hit. However, I will say, you notice that as you strike true. It's a near perfect swing. However, this creature doesn't seem to be really as impacted as a creature that was not immune to critical hits would be.
You know how rare it is for me to crit? All right, so it's just standard damage then, right?
Standard damage.
Standard damage. I do add my strength bonus, right?
You do add your
Well,
strength
it's a
bonus.
finesse, so do I add my...
No, so that just
Dex?
impacts the attack roll itself.
Great, I have no
For your
strength.
damage, it's
Fantastic.
still just straight up.
That's
However,
okay.
I believe you get, because you did your overdrive,
Yeah, that's right, I
you
do
add
get-
your intelligence bonus.
And I get half of that because I was only successful, not critically
Right,
successful.
so you still get that little bit of bonus damage.
Oh, don't worry, that's just 5 points of damage
5
on that critical
points of
hit.
damage. I have worse news for you, because
dear
as
me.
the bladed scarf, which deals slashing damages, cuts through this weird ooze.
Yes.
It just like gloms around and doesn't seem to impact it at all. Now, make a I'm not gonna say make anything. You could if you wanted to. But
Sure.
That would be actions to do. I forget.
And I don't have any more actions left, I don't think, because pulling the scarf off, I would assume, is pulling a weapon.
Yep. And then you
So-
did the overdrive, and then you did an attack. So that was your 3
Look at
actions.
that! I know how to play Pathfinder 2nd
He knows what he's
edition.
doing. He knows what he's doing. But no one
job,
say
Philip.
he doesn't.
Good job, Philip.
Lenore, you see that while it's wonderful to glow pink, there's trouble. There's trouble as this weird like glom of sand is trying to like come up and just swarm over
Okay.
your good buddy Bartimus.
What size? Is it smaller or large?
It is a large creature.
Okay. Being that it looks like sand or something, and also being my specialty. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing about Lenore is she always casts mage armor when she wakes up.
Every time.
Every time.
It's on.
just
Don't
wanna throw
even
that
worry
out.
about
She
it.
just
Mage
always
armor
does
is
it.
definitely on.
Or she definitely would
It's
have
always
cast
on.
it when
For
everyone's being all
sure.
unruly. But seeing this weird sand ooze.
Is that another mutation?
monster? Oh, no.
She was a target for that mutation if we got another one coming.
I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind.
Gust of wind.
See if I can like break, because this is a scientific marvel. It's a new thing to us, so we're gonna want to try and study it. But maybe we can like break it apart or something. So I will cast that.
Okay.
Larger, smaller creatures. It would also get rid of like the dust. Hopefully, it would like kind of blow away like the dust in the area as well.
Okay.
Large creatures must attempt a Fortitude save.
Take that, you big thing.
All right.
Right,
And your
yeah.
fortitude save is 1 higher than normal, so I will go ahead and roll the save, and you will tell me whether I succeed or not. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know. That is a 29.
Oh. It's this one, right? It's my DC here.
Yeah, your spell DC.
Yeah, that passes. That
Okay. Well, sometimes there's still an effect with a success. So with a success, the creature can't move against the wind. So actually, with the angle, like you're sustaining this huge gust of wind that is going to continue until your next turn, and it actually halts the creature's progress because it's trying to get at Bartimus, but it can't move against your wind. You are holding it back.
Lenore, keep that up. I love it. That is so great. And you know, I actually think you're assisting the machine as well, which is also good news.
That's what I'm here for.
After that, it is this creature's turn, and it was trying to come at Bartimus, but it can't. It's like it'll waste an action struggling to go forward and not being able to do that. However, seeing that it can't do that, it is just going to back and just start to go off the side of the stage towards the crowd of screaming people who are trying their best to flee the scene and get inside the building that makes up the community of Resolve so they can get away from the dust and this horrible monstrosity that Bartimus has unleashed on the unsuspecting populace.
What? I don't know that I did that.
And it'll use the rest of its 2 actions. Basically, like, it gets, like, up to Thorn. You can see it, like, if it had any more actions, if it hadn't wasted an action trying to fight that wind, it would probably be swallowing somebody into the depths of its horrible mass right now. But it gets up to somebody just, like, reaching out as we get to your turn.
Yeah, as we get to my turn, there's a thing up on the...
A Conn mutation, your body continues to morph. I need you to roll another just roll another D10. This isn't even a save.
Thanks, Genesis Nox. All right, rolling this D10, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a day for Thorn.
Here we go. That is a 9.
A 9. Okay.
Oh, that's fine. You'll just get big eyes and ears. It's no problem at all.
I have more than just these.
He's only got one more.
I get big
So,
tusks.
with this, all that you notice at first is that your skin that was already kind of rubbery now turns slightly blue.
My favorite color.
You gain, it turns slightly blue. You gain resistance 5 to cold. However, you gain a weakness 5 to fire. Now,
We'll hit you with fire.
you may be despairing as your body morphs and changes uncontrollably. However, you should note that it is only possible to have 2 permanent mutations. If you get another mutation, it will replace a mutation of your choice the next time you get one.
Cool.
And it is now your turn.
It's now my turn.
Yep.
Yeah, Thorn's standing there. He was walking back to the stage. All this crazy stuff started happening. He would use at least one action, just pushing people, like legit just shoving people to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then he got that bucket of raw meat. I want to chuck that thing at this creature as well too.
Sure. So you should find as you're pushing your way through the crowd is like sometimes as the crowd is actually super dense right now because people are like in mass trying to rush towards the entrance to Resolve so they can get away from everything that's happening. And you actually are squeezing your body between pressed people and like a jelly just like glomming through the crowd. But then you see an opportunity and you just chuck this bucket. And the lights go out.
Oh my gosh!
Just as you're about to throw, the lights go out.
This city is wild.
However, I would say that there's just enough glow that you don't have that. It's not concealed as you throw the meat.
Perfect.
It's a pink glow.
Great.
So make a ranged attack.
All right, range attack.
Now, unfortunately, the ranged attack is going to be impacted by the fact that you're clumsy, because that is all dex-based things go down.
Yes, it is. Goes down by 1, but that should be okay, Jim Jam, because that still takes me to a 26.
A 26, again, that would be a critical hit if this thing were subject to critical hits.
Jim was a nice GM.
If I were good and cool, that would be awesome, but it's just regular.
So, Jim, how much damage would you say a bucket of raw meat does?
We're going to call it 1d6 plus strength modifier.
1d6 plus strength? I can do that. I can do that. Yes! 11 points of damage.
Wow.
11 points of damage.
Max damage.
That's the strongest meat I've ever seen.
This bucket hits. It deals 11 points of bludgeoning damage, and you can see chunks of this creature, which are really just tiny, fine grains, like explode off of it. This is extra effective, and you deal an additional 5 points of damage. So that's actually 16 points of bludgeoning.
Ooh, bludgeoning damage, you say?
Indeed.
Oh,
You have one more action.
Boy. I do have one more action. I'm gonna I'm gonna use my action just to try to get people away.
Sure.
Yeah, just anybody else, just at least grabbing them, who's ever getting close, grabbing them, and legit, just I think somebody runs by, grab the collar of their shirt, pull them
Just
back,
helping people
push
get
them a
away.
direction,
Okay,
just
great.
get out. So at least if anything, it should. I'm showing that there's not a lot of people around between.
Right. You
me
make
and
yourself
it.
the more opportune target.
Exactly.
I like it. Let's go. I like it. We're at the top of round 2. Bartimus, this creature halted its advance on you. It went off the side of the stage. It was trying to get to some people, and then this half-orc, who you remember was supposed to help if things got bad. Well, he's helping, and things got bad.
You're doing a fantastic job. I've never seen anybody throw meat at a creature before, but you have astounded me and inspired me as well. And they had set up a podium for him, but Bartimus never used it because he was just walking around the stage. So he's just going to run at the podium and attempt to hit it and knock it onto the creature.
Sure.
Because the
You wanna
creature was
try to
off the
knock
stage.
The podium up. Okay, so I would say make an athletics check.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Not great. I'm going to use a hero
A
point.
hero point.
Right,
All right,
very
we're
heroic.
rolling it.
Philip,
So
you
I'm
need your
going to
help.
have to re-roll in the
on,
box
Philip.
here. Here we go. Come on. Need a good roll. Hey, there's a 17
Yeah,
on the
there we
die
go.
right there. 17 plus my athletics of 7 makes it a 24.
24. So you go and you just shove this podium over, and you're trying to squash the tail end of this creature. And I'll say it'll make a reflex save roll. 2d6 damage.
2d6
I'll make a basic reflex
Podiums
save.
and meat buckets.
Podium, we're the podiums and meat buckets guy. That is 10 points of damage. I have no strength modifier.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're. This is just the weight of the thing. So we're just saying it's just straight up 2d6 points of damage, which falls. And this creature doesn't have very fast reflexes, but I did roll pretty well. So say with a 24, it's a success on a basic reflex save. So it'll take half of that plus, but it's bludgeoning damage. So it'll realistically take a total of 10 points of damage. So 10 halved, then plus 5 for its weakness. 10
All
points of
right.
damage.
Let's get even more exciting. How many actions would you say that was? Was that 2, 1,
I mean,
3,
move and a
6?
shove, so 2 actions.
2? All right. I want. Bartimus is like, well, now, if I know anything about sand, is that it becomes hardened when exposed to fire. And so he's going to pull out his torch and begin trying to light his torch.
Okay, yeah, you grab a torch and you're going to try to light that torch on the next round. I love it. Lenore, you saved your friend. It looks like Thorn is saving the crowd, but this weird thing is still causing trouble. What do you do?
I will release my gust of wind, and hearing my teacher, boss, what
Yes.
friend say that I am going to actually use a fire spell and cast Produce Flame.
Produce flame, a classic.
A classic. I'll make a small ball of flame out of my hand and pew pew it over there.
And then the lights come back on.
And
Anytime you look at her and the lights come back, she's just like, ah, she's so bright.
Lights are always on.
I'm gonna glow like the same color as the fire.
Love it.
Make a spell attack roll against target's AC.
That's right.
Get it, good.
29. Does that hit?
Yes, that absolutely hits. And
Roll
again,
29
against a
against
creature
me
that
last
was
time.
that wasn't immune to critical hits, that would have been a critical, but unfortunately.
Okay. 3d4. 3d4. Plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which is intelligence, right?
Intelligence, that's correct.
Get it.
9. Oh god, math. I forgot how to do math from not playing in person.
No calculators here.
13 fire
13
damage.
points of fire damage. Very
And he
impressive.
turns into glass, right?
Well, not really, but you do burn away a good chunk of it. It doesn't seem to have any particular resistance or weakness to the fire, so it's just straight up 13 points of fire damage. And you can see, like, it's almost like it just sort of melts some of this weird mass
Into glass.
almost like if you like dropped water, like drops of water on cotton candy, where it just sort of like dissolves into nothing. That's what happens to the parts of the this weird ooze that are exposed to the flame.
Wait, so would that be a critical success or no?
It was a critical success, but this creature is immune to critical hits. So
Gotcha.
Because Jim is a jerk.
Yeah.
it's specifically because I am the worst.
Because
Yeah.
Jim Jam is evil.
You did this too.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then I'll just kind of move to like flank it, I guess, if I need to attack it again on my
Sure,
action.
you just sort of you have to get off the stage because it's on the ground now. So you sort of run
Hop
over
down.
and hop off the stage, and you're standing there next to it. When we get to its turn, and now that you've approached it, and Thorn's
here.
where am I going to go with this?
Come here.
I mean, you cast mage armor, so you're obviously perfectly safe. There's no need to attack you. So I think
Come
what I'll do
here, little
is I'll attack you once, and I'll attack Thorn once.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. The first attack against Lenore. Lenore.
Oh!
That is the 30 against your AC.
My AC is 20 with the mage armor.
Okay, so that is a critical hit. Now the important question is, are you immune to critical hits?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Absolutely
I don't know why I would be.
Only monks are.
Oh.
This thing
not a monk.
slams you as you rush up. Like this
Come
massive
here,
it
little guy.
punches out towards your stomach, and you basically run into it, and just
Oh.
all the air gets knocked out of your lungs.
No,
Uh,
not
the first-
air.
Yeah, you need that. You need that.
my favorite element.
You take 19 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing just slams the wind
Ow.
out of you. And I now need you to make a fortitude save as like little grains of it are starting to like get in your clothes and in your skin. And make a fortitude save.
I would like to use my hero point.
Get that hero point roll in
In the
there.
roll!
Hero point roll in the
Okay.
bucket.
Already
point
taken
roll.
19 damage, so let's see.
Hey!
17 of those
Plus,
rerolls, y'all.
what is it, fortitude?
Yep.
28.
Hey, you know what? Whatever was gonna happen doesn't. You seem to be
Yay.
okay.
Other than
Now-
that hard hit.
Now let's see if Thorn is okay as I try to slam him with a second attack.
Dodge it. Hurts.
Ah, that is a total of 10.
Total of 10.
Even clumsy Thorn is
That's
not
a critical miss.
critically
Jim.
misses as it just sort of like shifts direction suddenly and tries to whip out at Thorn, but
Loses
misses.
a piece of its goopiness.
Its goopiness is diminished significantly.
I never liked how goopy it was.
With its third action, it is just going to try to. It continues like moving rather than sort of focusing on you. You realize as it's sort of lashing out very randomly, and it doesn't really focus on you. Like it doesn't follow up and try to attack you. It just lashes out you almost instinctively, and then with its third action, sort of rolls itself towards the crowd of screaming people who are now. Like some of them are starting to get into the building, but it's now like it's like a stop. It's like, a whole bunch of people trying to get into one doorway, and it's going very horribly. And you can see that unless you find some way to distract this creature, they're gonna get steamrolled.
Okay.
But it is your turn, Thorn.
My turn. How far away is that podium, and how busted up is that thing?
The podium. I mean, you could get to it. Would say one move. You get to the podium.
Yeah, probably.
You want to just like heft it? You could do
I
it.
wanna is the creature close enough where I can slam it, or do I have to
If you you could use 2 actions. No, because picking it up would be an action,
Yeah.
so you would have to throw it. But
Okay.
or you could pick it up and just have it in your hand and get up to the creature. But
Oh no! That's
as the
does that
magic
mean, Jim?
surges, now spell DCs are still at +1, and all magic damage from any magical source is increased by 1. So if you have a magic weapon, if you have your magic spells, all of that increase your
My
spell
fists are
damage by
considered
1.
magical, Jim.
Increase the damage by 1.
I'm a magical being of awesomeness.
And just so you all know, I believe that's because all the boost pool has increased. I don't know who it's all come from yet. We'll figure that out soon. But you guys have a total of 9 boosts in the pool. So if things aren't
Nice.
going well, just pull those boosts.
Sure.
Pull those boosts.
Can we use more than one at a time?
Yes.
You could use as many as you want at once.
So Thornton rushes over. He just grabs that podium, turns, and just chucks it.
Hucks it
this
over at the
thing.
creature. Make a ranged attack roll.
Range attack.
Go ahead,
Let's
me,
go.
please.
But you know what? Athletics. We're going to call this athletics because I'm going to do the same thing I did with him. It's going to be 2d6 points of bludgeoning damage, but you're really just heaving this thing.
Jim Jam, too kind, because athletics for me is so much better.
Okay.
That gives me a 26.
So, yeah, great. So you literally just chuck a podium at this thing.
Okay, that is going to give us a total of 12
12
points of bludgeoning damage.
12 points of bludgeoning damage, and it's weak to bludgeoning, so it's going to take an additional 5, 17 total points of bludgeoning damage.
And then Thorn just yells, "Keep getting out! Run!"
Yelling.
Well, but stay nearby a little bit, as the demonstration will continue once we've cleaned up the mess.
I would say that you seem to also have sort of gotten the attention of this creature as it stops. It's like rolling surge towards the crowd and like surges back towards in your direction.
And he just gets his fist up, ready for this thing to come at him.
Ready to punch it.
Punch it.
Oh,
Come back around
right
to you, my
in the
friends.
face.
so the first thing that happens is that Philip comes sort of just floating up. He just floats right up to me, and I say, "Now, Philip, calm down, relax. It's fine. We'll handle this. I've got it. Don't worry. Just calm down." Oh, I can't stand when he cries. So Bartimus is gonna light the torch that he had pulled out last time, and then he's gonna attempt to throw the torch at the thing.
I agree.
Now, one thing I think one thing we have been ignoring, which I don't want to do to us, but it is worth noting because we're we're playing some Pathfinder here. I think when we're doing improvised weapons, we need to take a -2 penalty, I believe.
I think you are correct.
So-
I've actually been having you do athletics checks for most of the improvised stuff anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, these are athletics checks. So do you need
but
us
for
to
this,
take?
this would be an attack roll because
This
this
would be
is
an
just
attack.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yes.
All right.
Meat buckets, podiums, and now torches.
Yes. A very interesting array of weapons.
We're all improvised throwers.
20. Well, it would have been 25, but it's 23, which
It's a hit.
would be a basketball player's number if that was a thing, but it's not.
If it was a thing, it would
So the lit torch is going to hit this thing. What type of damage would you like me to roll?
be. Call it D6 fire.
D6 fire. 1
Hey!
point of fire damage.
It's a glancing blow, but it's a hit. You've dealt some damage successfully to this creature. Nobody can take that away from you.
And then Philip's over there next to me, sort of like bouncing around. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, Philip. All right, fine." And so Philip starts to like, you like hear this high pitched sound as Philip starts to like spin around and twirl, and then like you like hear a bunch of like whirring and popping and clicking, but absolutely nothing changes on Philip. He just looks like a teddy bear. But then all of a sudden he just goes, pew! And just shoots out like where he was floating before. He just all of a sudden is like, pew! And just rams his little teddy bear head into this goo. So that will be
Make an attack.
A
that will
flying
be-
headbutt teddy bear.
oh shoot. Do you know what? I think I printed this and then I left it upstairs.
Oh no.
So let's just make something up. I don't know. I think I know what his bonuses are. So I'll use that. Ugh. Well, it looks like we have 9 boost points, so I will be using all 9 of those.
all 9 boosts at once. I took them all from you.
22.
22 is a success.
All
You get
right,
the
that
creature.
seems fine. And I'll call it. I'm actually pretty sure it is bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you
And I
Headbutt.
think it's 2.
I want to say 2d6 is what I would.
Oh, whatever. Let's do 2d6. I'm the fool who left it upstairs.
2d6, and he does benefit from your overdrive.
Coins, friends.
That's right.
He benefits from the overdrive.
Oh, and I forgot to be adding the bonus damage on those other ones. For the fire, I guess it should have been 2. Whatever. All right, so that is 9 points of damage from the little cute teddy bear.
9 points of damage. You can see that this thing is starting to lose cohesion. It's starting to slow down. It's becoming less. As it tries to form itself, it's having more and more trouble keeping a shape. And then the lights go out in VANTAM.
And don't mind
Except
me,
for
I'll just,
Lenore.
I'll just be going over here. Thank you, everybody. All right, just gonna go get this character sheet.
Lenore, you see an opportunity here.
Sorry, Philip.
This creature is weakened. You might be able to take it out.
Okay.
What do you do?
Okay. Lenore is gonna switch it up. Use another one of her elemental abilities and cast Water Spout.
Water
You
spout!
need to cool down. And I think that's just my attack roll. I assume the same.
It's either
Oh,
a
wait.
save or it's a.
Spell casting. Oh wait. Any creatures in the area take bludgeoning damage.
It is a reflex save.
Reflex save.
So I gotta make a reflex save.
What kind of reflexes can Sand even have?
Not very good. Not very good at all, actually. That is a total of an 11.
Okay. And that has to beat my.
Your spell DC,
Yeah.
Oh,
which
yeah,
it
no.
definitely does
No,
not.
no.
Now, here's the important question.
Yeah.
With the improved spell DC, what is your current?
Minus 21.
So that is a critical failure. So let's see if Water Spout has a critical failure thing. Because sometimes I'll take. It's a basic reflex save, so I'll take double damage.
Nice.
It's.
Take
It should be
that.
3d4 plus your spell casting modifier, just like, but it's bludgeoning damage instead of the fire damage, and you get the extra +1 because of the dust impact.
Oh, it's the number on the bottom. Have I never rolled this d4 before? Okay, 3, 7, 11
11.
is the base. Is the 3d4 plus the modifier.
Yep. So 11 points, and then did you add the +1 for the dust?
No.
Because your spells are more powerful. You feel
Wow.
an extra surge of magic as you deal 12
Water
points of
damage.
bludgeoning damage to this creature, which is really 17 points of bludgeoning damage to this creature because it is weak. It is weak against your spells.
Yeah.
And as it's trying to like form itself to lash out at you one more time, it just explodes. And there are these globs that just like fall all around and begin to completely lose cohesion. They all just sort of melt away, and everything goes quiet. What do you all do?
Oh dear me! Oh, Lenore, I'm so sorry. That was completely uncalled for by that blob of disgusting ooze. Come here, let me help you.
Yeah.
I see that
maybe
she's-
I should get some samples.
I see that she's been hurt, injured, in fact.
Oh no.
And now the injury, if I'm correct here, the sand like punched you, right?
Yeah, like in the gut.
So it's like a bruise, and I see that like there's some sand on you and stuff, and I'm like, don't worry, I can handle this, and I pull out a knife. And I said, Big Mom!
Holy cow, guys. Thank you.
I said, no, I've got it. No problems at all. Just, here's what I want you to do. Just count to 3, and everything will be just fine.
I'm not gonna look if you're using a knife.
So
One,
Bartimus just starts
2.
cutting into her with this knife, and manages to actually like something like hits him, like blood hits him. Oh, all right, hang on. And he's going to be doing risky surgery on Lenore. So I deal 1d8. I do 1d8 slashing damage. So you take 5 points of damage, Lenore.
You couldn't roll on the lower side, I guess.
I couldn't. And then I'm going to choose a
Less
decent.
than half.
You know what, Jim? There's just so many
So
hero points. Why would I not choose the DC 20 at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
right?
Choose the
I
more
mean,
difficult.
I should do the more difficult option here, I think.
Bleeding now.
Yeah, this is fine. This is all good. Okay, here we go.
I wasn't even bleeding.
So I'm gonna need that hero point.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Here's that hero point here.
All right.
Let me just, hang on, hold on just a moment here. This is all fine. Oh boy, that wasn't too great either. Do we have any boosts?
No.
No.
All 9 of them at once.
I could use a singular boost. If there was only
So what did you
just
get? What's your total?
one boost. If that could just be simply.
Okay, so even if a boost comes in right
One
now, it's
single
over.
boost.
It's done.
Well, I guess if there was just one boost for us to have,
So what'd you get?
was a 19.
A 19, and you chose DC 20, so that's a failure. So he just cuts you and is like trying to like, but there's now blood getting on, and then your blood actually apparently is the source of your glow because your blood is glowing, so that's what's causing your.
Oh,
skin
this
to
is
glow.
so distracting.
So
So
he's
much
like,
blood.
he starts
my
getting
eyes. I'm not
and he's
used
got all
to
this
the.
blood glowing in his hands,
I'm
and he
not
drops
used
his
to the
scalpel.
size of my eyes. They feel so large, and he's like shaking his head. Subsplosion! And like his ears are so oversized that they're like flapping against him as he's shaking his head and he's like, "Oh dear me, Lenore, I'm so sorry."
I want to put some of my blood in a tube. That
put
was
it-
scary for
You just start
Just a little
sampling
bit.
your own blood. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
So it's like a glow
toxicity.
stick, basically.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I attempted risky surgery and I didn't
just
get the
lost
+2 so what I'm trying to understand here is
Yeah.
it says if I was successful, then I gain a +2 circumstance bonus to my medicine check to treat wounds.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like for what? Where is that coming from?
It says your surgery can bring a patient back from the brink of death. When you treat wounds, you can deal 1d8 slashing damage to your patient just before applying the effects of treat wounds. If you do, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to your medicine check to treat wounds.
Okay.
So, does this still mean that I'm still treating wounds? I just didn't get the +2 bonus?
Well, let me read this. All
Philip,
right.
what do you think?
Philip thinks I should be healed.
And what should I have added?
So you know, so when you do it, you get a +2 bonus. So it gives you a +2 bonus. You get a +2. It adds +2 to your medicine check.
Oh, so it was a 21. I was successful.
So you were successful.
Oh, dear me, how exciting.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, I got so confused with my ears flapping and hitting me, and I could just hear the beating of your heart. Now, if you just stay still here, and he begins patching up. Oh, thank you, Philip. Yep, all right. He grabs just like some like he pulls like a thin bit of thread from Philip. Oh, all right, let's stitch that up and do that. All right. And so now I have done a critical success, because if I have succeeded on risky surgery, then it is a critical success.
Okay.
So, my dear, you are getting back
Subsplosion.
Subsplosion.
Jeez, guys.
You are getting back 4d8 healing plus plus 10, I think.
That's correct. 48 plus 10.
4d8. Did I even set aside enough d8s for this? Here we go. I was successful. I know how risky surgery works. Nobody asked me about how Pathfinder 2 works. I know how Pathfinder
Samples.
2nd edition works. All right, so that's 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 6 is 19, plus 10 is 29. Healing back to you, my dear.
Very successful surgery.
Almost fully.
So this whole process takes about 10 minutes. And as this is occurring, is there anything in particular you want to be doing?
Yeah, Thorn one, I mean, he's making sure people are gone. He'd go up and just like start looking at the machine, and he keeps looking over at Bartimus as well too, and just waiting for him to be done with whatever he's doing with her.
Okay, so you're just sort of waiting it out.
Yeah.
Well, as some time passes, you notice that most of the plaza has cleared at this point, and you notice that some people come out of the building, and they're armed in simple leathers, and they've got cudgels at their belt. You know that there's not really like, it's basically like a community watch. There's not really like a police force in the thing, but there's the people who volunteer to just keeps a lot of the weird critters at bay, and also to sort of keep watch over the community, keep everything safe. So these community watch people come over, and they're sort of standing there watching as Bartimus is sewing up the glowing Lenore.
Those big ears.
One of them says, so I guess this is all settled, but after whatever this is finished, Mr. Lear would like a word with all of you, if is that all right?
Well, I'll have to make sure that I get everything packed up, but I see no reason why I can't have a discord with Mr. Lear.
Great, but it's going to have to be like immediate. Sorry, I mean, I don't want to say that the invitation is very strongly worded. Is that what he said? And that it's like, you have to come with us.
Oh, all right. Well, if you were urging it, then I guess we could do that. Oh, dear me, look at that! And he looks over at the contraption, the machine,
yeah.
at Marcus,
Yeah.
and he sees that because so much has now happened. There was the lightning, and then there was the explosion, and then the sand creature and all that. And what you notice is that just around the machine, all of the dust and the debris that's all sort of settled and come down. There's just like this sort of ring around the machine, not very far, maybe like a foot or two off the machine. but there's no dust or debris there. And he's like, well, I'll be. I guess purple setting was the right setting. I guess we could go.
All right. So these watchers, community watchers, sort of form up around you, and they escort you up into the building, and you have to go. They have this like elevator is a very strong word, but it's literally like this crank lift that they've constructed to get up to some of the higher levels in the structure, and you take this huge crank lift all the way up to I don't know, 23rd floor.
What,
and
23rd?
The 23rd
Wow.
floor.
Michael Jordan floor?
The Michael Jordan floor, if that was the thing. And
While we're riding it, could I do one quick thing?
probably.
I just look over at this individual and I say, my dear boy, I'm sorry, but with these ears that I seem to now be blessed with, I can hear in you the anxiety looking to perhaps have a conversation with me. I'm so sorry. I did not catch your name, but I certainly saw your actions in saving the day. You are a hero, friend. My name is Bartimus, Alagaster, Reginald, Thaddeus, Ignatius, Meriwether, Ulysses, Sumatrap. What is yours?
A.K.A. Bartimus, right?
Yes, Bartimus.
It's Thorn.
Nice to meet you, Thorn. This here is Philip, and that's Lenore, and over there's Cumulus.
Hello.
This is Cumulus.
Question. What did you do? Where did that thing come from?
Oh, the thing, well, I have been hypothesizing on this ever since the confrontation we just had. I believe what may have happened was that I perhaps did not accurately estimate the energy that was contained in the atmosphere here in VANTAM. So while the machine was successful, you could see that there in the dust circle or lack of dust circle around the machine. I think what happened was the wild, uncontrolled magics were able to somehow manifest themselves inside the machine, perhaps concentrating them in one spot again after and I'm just speculating here, my dear boy, but I would assume after the explosion of which there was mithracite contained, perhaps the inciting incident, its very self was mithracite. I wonder if bringing together those particles that had already exploded caused some sort of event that I could not have foreseen. So I believe that creature was some sort of manifestation of the magics within. I will have to revisit the M.A.R.K.U.S device and see if I could understand better. Perhaps this gentleman we're going to meet can help. And about that time, we reached the top of the elevator.
It's about that time that you reach the station. So the crank lift opens up, and you are spilled out into this very open floor. Now, Thorn, you're quite aware that you are actually in the community management chambers. This is sort of the government center of Resolve. It is a floor that is converted. I wouldn't say that it's fancy, but in terms of like, it's one of the nicer areas in the building. They've done a lot of work here to make it feel not imposing or impressive. Like you've been in some lord's chambers where it's all about the ceremony, and you have the big vaulted ceilings, and it's all about the power of the person who's there. But this feels more homey. It's comfortable. There's places for lots of people to sit. There is a space for somebody at sort of the head of the room to address a crowd, but everything is there's a more circular feel to the room. It feels almost more like a classroom lecture hall in the way that it's structured, than any kind of like, government chamber that you've been in some of the other places that you've traveled to. And the only other person in this room is a man in very simple clothing who you recognize as a very famous community figure. His name is Dakon Lear. And he is one of the 3 primary community managers at Resolve. The others, for whatever reason, aren't here, but he seems quite delighted as you enter the room, and he says, Mr. Bartimus, yes?
Well, Sumatrap, yes.
Okay.
An easy way to remember it, it's actually Summitrab.
Sumatrab.
Yes, you just reverse that and it'll be Bartimus.
Adam, Rady, I hate you as a person. You have done so much of this nonsense and crammed it into this little package, and it's constant. It's never ending.
I've got more, don't worry.
I know you do, and that's why I hate you. So, Mr. Sumatrab.
Katie, it's working.
And Lenore, I presume.
Yes.
I want to first. I want to check. Are you okay? I heard about there was an incident down in the plaza, and then of course a wild magic storm. Those things unpredictable, and we didn't assume that there is one that we forecast for today, but it isn't until much later. We're very sorry that we weren't able to protect you from that. Normally we put a lot of effort into making sure people aren't exposed like that.
Well, the wonderful Thorn over here was there to protect and help us contain the situation. And Lenore proved herself more than capable of not just taking care of herself, but of taking care of the entire community. Truly, those two should be applauded.
Well,
And by the way, this here is Philip. He's my very best friend. I noticed you did not say hello.
hello, Philip. And the...
We really just want to help. I'm sorry we caused such a scene.
No, I know you want to help. I actually am a major part of the reason that you were allowed through the quarantine zone. I heard about Mr. Sumatrab's vision and his machine, and I made a petition for them to allow special guests into VANTAM. And that's why, part of the reason why you're here. Of course, obviously, you did most of the work there from the outside, and there were a lot of other things that went into it. But I've been a big champion of it. I know that there are some people in the city who are less than charitable about your arrival, but I want you to assure you that the majority of us are very appreciative of the help that you intend for us.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. The entire community seemed to come out in droves and have a wonderful time. They were very excitable during the presentation.
I did want to talk about the presentation. I believe in your vision, but I think there is a pretty glaring flaw in it, and it's the scale. I mean, obviously, there was an incident where your machine was unable to properly contain the amount of energy present in the air.
I see. Boy, do you have the Tinkerer's touch yourself, Mr.
Oh, no. I have a lot of...
Keen intellect and insight is what you have.
Not myself, more the people who work for me. I have a lot of people who know their way around magic.
I see what Mr. Lear here is saying. It wasn't perhaps Mr. Thorn the idea of the machine may have been in the size of the gaskets and the funnels and you see the piping that I use. Perhaps I was forcing too much into a tight spot. So scale could very well be the issue.
I think that that's something that we can accomplish, but it is going to require quite a lot of work. I mean, we need supplies. We need a crew of skilled workers. I mean, Mr. Bartimus can't be building a massive machine all on himself. And Philip, of course. And we need a facility. I mean, a place to house such a massive endeavor. I can't say that I know how to bring all of these parts together, but I do have a place where we could start if this is a project you all want to, focus your attentions on. Now, obviously, Mr. Thorn, you admirable work with the crowd. I think, however, we've proven that some of Mr. Sumatrab's work is rather dangerous, and you acquitted yourself admirably out there. I would. This is going to require a vast array of skills, not just a bunch of tinkers and wizards. So, if you wouldn't mind, maybe acting as Bartimus here's bodyguard. Perhaps during his stay in VANTAM? Would that be okay with you? You'll be paid, of course.
Yes,
we can cover that.
And Thorn just looks for a second. As a ex-prison guard, I'd be more than happy to apply my services to him.
That's really excellent.
Wow.
That's good to hear.
Wow, I'm truly just without words. If I could give perhaps an unprepared statement here, I would just like to say thank you so much for welcoming me here with these open arms and these wonderful resources you're willing to put forth and this belief in me. And Thorn, Mr. Thorn, thank you so much for putting yourself out there to truly fight for Vantam. And Lenore, not enough could be said of you and your wonderful vegetable cloud there, Cumulus.
Please.
Such a wonderful plant.
No, mister. Just Thorn, please.
Just Thorn.
Yes.
Lenore, I had some of my own professional observers watching the demonstration, taking their measure, but as a third-party practitioner of the art, I really do want to get your take as someone who's worked with Bartimus and the machine itself. What do you think happened down there?
I mean, during any of our trials, the machine has never run like that, and we've never seen anything like that creature. I can only assume it might have something to do with the interaction of the storm and the dust and all these new factors we hadn't had a chance to test out yet.
Do you want to make an Arcana check?
Yeah,
I mean, everything that you've said is spot on so far.
that'll tell me
but
more than
just-
I know.
Let's see if there's any extra insight you might have gleaned.
You know what? I'm gonna use a hero point because
Oh, yes,
we got enough of them.
You got a lot, so yeah, use them up.
Thank you, everyone.
thank you for the hero
Here
points.
it
Gonna roll a big
comes.
dice and get a better roll. Okay, it is better. Well, what is this again?
Arcana.
That'll be a 24.
Sure. So a lot of what you and Bartimus too have come up with makes a lot of sense. Like you figure realistically there was way more energy here than in any of the tests he would have been able to do outside, and it manifests in very unpredictable and chaotic ways. Then of course there was the weird surges of unpredictable magic that were occurring during the demonstration, which may have interfered with everything. You don't know what it is, but you get the feeling that if you had time to sit with it, there's something about the way that it manifested and attacked that doesn't sit right with you. There's something about that just doesn't, like you, maybe it's nothing, but it's something that maybe you would, if you had the time or the inclination, you would say, there's a lot of data to go over, and there's something that doesn't immediately in your sort of napkin mathematical way just doesn't quite add up. There's something fishy.
Like in a sense of like because of the environment making things suspicious, or something that Barnabas did in creating it? Or
It's hard to say because you recall like all the testing that was done on the machine prior, and it certainly never reacted in the way that it did. But it always worked well. The mechanics of it were always sound. And you recall the way that prior to that creature coming out, the sort of lightning tower that he built had exploded. And that kind of that felt like a mechanical failure that there was absolutely no sign of whatsoever in all of the testing that had been done.
Right.
And so it feels like almost like that was a separate, almost like maybe there were two separate failures.
Okay.
And one of them doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you.
Okay.
Things just got a little more
I know. As the facts come together.
Dun dun dun.
Well, I believe that I am more than ready to meet this team of individuals and see what kind of plan you all have cooked up. I think that I could make the repairs to the M.A.R.K.U.S device very quickly.
About that, I do have a little bit of bad news.
Oh,
That
yes, of
is
course.
That there was a vote. Because of the
I
incidents.
missed it.
Your machine has been, let's call it impounded. You can't, it's, it's sort of out of bounds for you right now.
Okay, well, now hold on a second here, because Philip and I are now going to cast our votes, and we vote not to impound it.
I know.
Philip,
No.
1, 2, 3. And I raise my hand, and he just sort of rises very slightly. All right, well, you see, there's 2 votes against it, so I don't think that we could impound
hey,
it.
I believe in your vision. I voted that you should be allowed to continue your work pretty much unimpeded, but the other 2 counselors were very firm. They think that.
Only 2 counselors.
Well, there's 3.
Well, there were 2. So, all right, with your 3rd vote, I think we'll just reconvene. Go ahead and bring them on in. We can go ahead and wait. And he just sits down on the
Mr.
ground.
Supertrap, you don't get a vote. I'm afraid. You can't.
I don't understand. It's my device.
Well, in the paperwork, when you were allowed through the quarantine, you did sign some documents that indicated that in the event that your work posed any kind of threat, we would be able to take possession.
Bartimus goes into his paperwork and starts pulling out his copies. His
to that part.
yeah, his you know, the transfer papers. You know, and he's like, oh, man. Well, I suppose I did. All right, I guess that's your machine now. Let's go build another one.
That is the intention. Now,
A bigger, better Marcus.
I do. We should keep that work close to the chest. Let's just say, instead of running around screaming at the top of your lungs that you're going to build a bigger, better machine, you only talk to people that we can trust.
Oh, that sounds fine. I trust everyone.
To make sure, well, maybe people that I trust. You understand.
Like us.
There are elements of the community who are less than pleased with what happened. They think it's your fault. They want us.
I'd be happy to speak with them. Let them just know that there's no concern here.
They want us to arrest you.
Oh, to arrest?
No one is arresting anybody here. But I'm just saying it was like this close. So we do need
Were
to.
these other 2 counselors the ones that voted for that as well? Because again, Philip and I, and Philip raises slightly, we are definitely casting our votes against that.
Understood. And again, no one's getting arrested right now. There was.
It does seem to be indicating you're saying later someone will get arrested.
I'm just saying that one of the conditions was that you would cease all work immediately. Now, again, I believe in your vision.
Well, how could I cease all work if there's...
Continue. But you just have to be quiet about it. We have to be quiet about it.
Shh. All right, I told you talk too much, Philip. You need to be quiet.
Now, there are some people who I believe we can bring on board. They're called the Iron Collective. They're very skilled workers. If we had them on our side, then when we have a facility and when we have the materials we need to build this bigger, grander device, they're the people that we want on our side, doing the work.
What do I know about that group?
Society check, my friends.
I was also going to ask the same
Society
thing.
check.
Can I do a society
You
check?
can do one. I'd say the DC is probably a little higher for you because you're not local, but you can definitely make one.
Thorn just goes, Iron who? That's a 5.
22 for
We
me.
have lots of hero points.
You do have lots of hero
what?
points.
Yeah, let's use a hero point.
I mean, throw, you got lots. Use
Oh
them.
yeah, you still have yours.
I do, that's
Yeah,
my
come
hero
on,
point. Here we go.
let's try to go.
Here we go, let's do it. That's a little better
Better?
with a 12.
12.
Better.
Okay. A little better, but not much better.
A little better with a 12.
So both of you have heard of the Iron Collective, but that's really about it. Like, I mean, it's a name, like, I don't know. But there's really not a lot that you know about them.
Oh, really?
So you want to just your
No, I'm
point?
just
Yeah. They operate in one of the sub-basements.
At this location?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they work under Resolve. So they're very skilled, very smart, really great people to have on our side. You should approach them. They're touchy. So, I mean, that's why you have Thorn. Everything's going to be fine. You just get them on our side. I'll handle things up here. Keep the rest of the community management team off your backs. And before you know it, we'll be changing all of VANTAM with your marvelous machine.
We could check the marvelous Marcus. Oh, I like this. This is a good. I like this one.
Marvelous Marcus machine.
Oh, perhaps marvelous. No, the magnificent. That's what it'll be. The new and improved Marcus the Magnificent.
Great. That's where we live. New follow.
New follow.
Hey, new follow.
Sock thief.
Anyway, I if you want to get to sub basement A, you just talk to
I'm
Paul over there.
gonna already be walking towards the elevator.
sure.
Because Bartimus would understand how this contraption
Yeah.
works. So he's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna flick this lever. We're
Sure.
just gonna go.
Yeah, I
down.
mean, yeah, you can
Yeah.
operate it.
All right, let's head to the basement, everybody.
So, well, he's
Yes,
on his.
what was that?
The
About the
name.
sub-basement A?
Sub basement A. Good luck.
Name?
What's that?
The name we're looking for.
I was gonna say talk to Carl. He would operate the
Oh.
thing for you and take you down there. But it seems like your friend here. You're looking for Finley Dodge. That's who you want to talk to down there. Finley Dodge.
Finley Dodge. All right, sounds like a wonderful individual.
Thank you, Mr. Lear.
Oh yes, much appreciated. By the way, I love what you've done with the plate. And he's like still talking as the elevator's just going.
Oh yeah. I assume that you guys are already headed down. So you are headed down. You get there. I mean, you get to the basement. The door
Oh yes,
opens.
this looks like sub basement
you-
A. All right, that seems to be the one we
This
wanted.
door like opens. You slide it open, and you are looking at a dark. Well, not as dark because there's like this pink rosy light now. There's this corridor, and you can hear the sounds of like hammering and grinding tools, and you can smell this like sharp burning grease smell.
Oh,
and
this
it's actually
is wonderful.
it's very homey for you. I mean, it's stuff you're very familiar
You see
with.
Philip kind of like do like a little flip over. Oh yes, doesn't it seem just so wonderful down here?
And as you're taking all of that in, like a side door down this corridor opens, and this dwarf sticks their head out and is like, raises an eyebrow, sees Thorns down there, sees Bartimus and the glowing woman, and
Hello. Hi, we're looking for Finley.
what are
Hello?
you doing down here?
Oh, I'm so glad you've asked that. Well, you see, I'm Bartimus, Allegasser, Reginald, Thaddeus, Ignatius, Meriwether, Ulysses, Sumatrab, and this here's my very best friend, Philip. Lenore is the glowing beauty you see before you, and that cloud is Cumulus, and this ray of sunshine here is Thorn. We're so happy to meet you. We are looking for the Iron Collective
We're
to
looking
help
for
us
Finley.
construct a new type of machine that will save the city of Vantam and will change the world as we know it, as we evolve the way that we live. Yes, yes.
We don't need to tell everyone everything.
Oh, but he asked what we were doing down here.
Yes, and I'm sure he means well, but
We're looking for
remember-
Finley.
Oh, that too.
You that idiot who nearly blew up the tower.
We were at
No.
the demonstration. We saw it.
No. I mean, as far as Bartimus is concerned,
Sure, yeah,
he's
no,
not
I get it,
lying.
yeah.
He doesn't. There was no risk of the tower blowing up as far as he was concerned, and he's certainly not an idiot.
We just have an appointment with Finley. We just want to talk to him.
Make a deception or bluff.
Okay.
Deception is the deceive him.
26.
26.
He's distracted by the glow.
Sure. Sure. Distracted by the glow and just lost in,
And wants to get rid of us.
The big ears,
like-
the floppy looking guy.
Also, this is brand new. Do you have anything like this where you're? And I just like flick my, and it's just like.
This is, well, fine. I guess you can see Finley. Follow me.
I look
Thank
at
you.
Thorn as we go walking with the guy, and I'm like, is there maybe a salve or something that you would normally apply for these type of things?
No, giant ears is new to me.
Oh.
I did. There was once where my tusks did like flip upside down. It was quite.
I'm sorry, your what?
My tusks.
Oh, your tusks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having bigger ears isn't all that bad, you know.
Oh, no, of course. I don't mind it, you see, but it does rub something fierce on my cheekbones. You see, my jowls are very sensitive, so.
Perhaps you could pin them back.
oh, this might work wonderfully. And he begins like
Do I have,
he
like,
like
a
starts
hairpin?
taking like materials out of his pocket. And you see like
Just, like,
you've maybe
rubber band
actually
it.
distracted Bartimus for a bit.
Oh yeah, take some Phillips string.
So he starts working on something that, and he's distracted as you guys are now walking.
Just tie your earlobes like behind your neck.
Hey, do
By the time
your
we get,
ears hang
by the
low,
time that we
Bartimus?
get, by the time we get to where we're going, you find that he's like fashioned these two little clips. They're like pulled his ear lobes back, and then they're like held together by like a like a string, almost like you'd hold glasses on. They're just clipping back. Oh, this is much better, Lenore. You're very clever.
I do what I can.
So you make your way through this workshop, and there are a lot of people working, and they're building things, and you see a lot of what they look like they're doing is actually taking apart machinery, and just make a craft or perception. Anybody can. Everybody can.
Precept.
17 perception.
26.
26.
22.
22. What you all notice is that they don't seem to be really building anything down here. They seem to be taking a lot of things apart. They seem to be separating materials, and a lot of what they are working with are like it's scrap. Like you recognize it pretty easily. It's like it's scrap. It's stuff that people have brought in. There are scavenger teams that go out into the more dangerous parts of the city, and they bring back things. I mean, this VANTAM used to be a city full of magical and mechanical wonders, and now it's all just sort of sitting there, most of it destroyed or inaccessible, but some people go out, they collect it, they bring it back, and a lot of the workers here, they don't, again, nobody seems to be building anything. You get a sense for that they make anything down here. They're all processing scrap, things that have been brought in from the outside. And a lot of the people, like, they pause in their work and they're looking at you two, especially. And you catch, like, some people are, like, whispering and, like, nudging each other. And they seem to be both fascinated by your glow.
I'm like trying to dim it, but I can't. I'm like, turn it down.
Fascinated by Philip. And there are a lot of smirks at Bartimus. A lot of people seem to be, like, sort of laughing as Bartimus comes walking.
Oh, and Bartimus is just sort of, hi, hello, how are you doing? Oh, I love that. Oh, I've been looking for one of those. Oh, yeah. Now, when you break that down, what you want to do is twist right once, but then left 3 times, and then just poke it, and it'll just drop right out. It's fascinating.
But you get to this storage room / office, and the dwarf who's been leading you through pokes his head in, says, "Oh, you got I brought your appointment." And you see this gnome with bright green hair and an eye patch who is looking over some papers, who looks up and says, "I said I don't want to be disturbed. I don't have any appointments. What are you talking about?" Sees Bartimus and Lenore standing there, and he says, "You're that idiot who almost blew up the tower, aren't you?"
Well, no, that would not be me. My name is Bartimus, Alagaster, Reginald, Thaddeus, Ignatius, Meriwether, Ulysses, Sumatrap, and this is Philip.
Stop.
That over there is
Stop.
Lenore. What would you
Stop.
like me to stop
Shush.
doing?
So
Stop.
sorry, I meant to say that we wanted to make an appointment for right now.
You can let them in.
All right,
This-
I go
this should be fine.
walk right in.
So you and you,
And him. And Philip. And Cumulus.
very interesting. You're the outsiders.
Yes.
Well, I don't know that term necessarily
We're
applies.
here to help. To try to help.
Oh, we're definitely here to help. So I
I
wouldn't
heard.
call us outsiders, as we would like to be inclusive and join in and be a
We're
part
out.
of the community.
I'm sure that you're very interested in joining the community now. I'm sure Heroic Endeavors is very interested in coming in and helping everybody out.
Oh, well, I believe they are. They funded my research and my work. It does seem they've been a wonderful partner in creating the M.A.R.K.U.S device, which allowed me to successfully cleanse just begin cleansing the air here, which is actually why we're here speaking to you, Finley.
And
we
and
could
Thorn
really
is no
use-
outsider. Thorn is from here
Yeah.
and helping as well.
I should look back and like Thorn is like legit just standing in front of the door, just making sure that nobody else comes in.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we were told not to talk to a lot of people about it.
Sure.
So it was,
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't overhear what's going on.
Since you're just sort of keeping an eye out, give me a perception check.
Perception. 13.
13. Okay. So you're keeping an eye out. Maybe you're watching as these two sort of do their thing. Says, okay. So you come down here and you want what?
Oh!
A job? Because I've seen the results of your work and nope.
Well,
we got.
We
all
do
we
want a job, except we want you to work with us.
work with you.
We want
Of
to
course.
give you a job, technically speaking.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
This is funded, in fact, by the very community that you are in. We are here straight from Dakon Lear
wow.
himself. On official business, you understand? Hush, hush, secret stuff. We would love your help in constructing a new, better, more magnificent Marcus.
See, HEI arrives and already they're hiring us to help out. That's really
Isn't it wonderful?
interesting. That is something
You
fascinating.
see what I
to
have
me.
said? They have been a wonderful partner, a great
Yeah,
outreach
they're just
for
ready
the
to
community.
swoop in and take over at a moment's notice, aren't they?
Well, I don't know if takeover is the right word. I think hand in hand, cooperative understanding. I kind of hold Philip's hand. I'm saying, very much friendly like. Isn't that right?
Is
Sure.
an opportunity to work not a good thing for the good of your community?
Why don't you tell me about this work? You stop. I've heard enough from you. You tell me about this work that you're here to offer me.
Well, we'll need help building the machine, and as it sounds like you think, I mean, you might be able to help us even more and fix the errors that we made, possibly, because we could use some help.
If I'm going to invest the Iron Collective's considerable talents and resources into any kind of project, I have to know who owns the machine. What is our stake?
Well, I believe technically it would belong to Mr. Lear, who is one of the community's managers.
That clown? You think
But-
he's suddenly gonna own the machine? You're acting on his behalf? You know he doesn't act like.
We know you'll be paid, right? Did he say that clearly?
Oh, he'll very definitely be paid, of course. It's a lucrative contract, you understand? And while the details are being worked out, I believe that the ownership rights would perhaps be split amongst the parties. That's what I'd vie for and vouch for, is that we should all have an equal share in growing a clean, healthy community here in VANTAM.
Do you normally own the things that you create for others?
Yes, the Iron Collective does own its work.
Oh.
Unless, of course, it's
Well-
contracted work.
Well, we don't normally contract with corporate stooges. Who
Oh, well, that's great news. We don't have any stooges, nor are we corporatized.
you are here on behalf of Heroic. Do you even know the particulars of
I
your
believe
own
I'm
ownership?
here on behalf of Dakon Lear.
What could we do to get you on our side?
See, now we've entered the phase of the negotiation that I'm more comfortable with. I talk about what is our stake. And here is what I propose. We own the machine. You want us to build a machine. That will fall under the Iron Collective's purview. Once it is done, we will manage the machine. We will operate the machine. We will do so for the good of all people because we believe that it is the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, all of that work and all of the administrative overhead and all of that belongs to us. We will operate as an autonomous body. We will no longer need to reside here in the sub-basement of Resolve. We will be full-time operators and owners of the machine.
Done! Agreed!
You, my friend, need to stop because you do not have any of the authority to make that decision. What you do have is the ear of one of the community managers.
Oh, is that a joke about that? All right.
We don't make ear jokes here. Do we Would I know, or then could I ask Barnabas aside if there's like any negative, like from the markets itself, not like disassembling it and like using pieces of it, but from the markets itself, are there like bad, negative, evil things that can be done? Like, could you be like pumping the magic back out into the, like, is there anything bad? Like, what would be the negatives
Sure.
of
Would
them
there be
owning
anything
it?
nefarious? Go ahead and make just a craft check, just off the top of your head. What do you think would happen there?
Just wondering. Someone could use it for evil.
You know what? I'm going to use a hero point.
A hero point.
Hero point.
All right. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but that's.
You didn't roll in the right one.
You didn't put it in the box.
Doesn't count.
What?
You didn't put it in the box.
Oh, that's right. I do have to roll it in the box. I'm so sorry. Everybody's right. You are all right. All right. Here we go. 25.
25. You don't think that there's necessarily anything nefarious that could be done, sort of sabotaging the machine. However, your expertise in the field, your primary concern with giving any one entity total ownership and control over a machine like this is that it's like if they owned all the water in VANTAM. If they're the sole choke point, if they can make all the decisions and they're completely autonomous and in control of this machine, and this machine is successful in what it needs to do, then you have increased their political power standing in the city 1,000-fold. Mm-hmm. They are like the sole arbiters of whether the city can continue to operate at any time forever.
Well, now, could I do maybe it's diplomacy to see if I believe him when he said for the good of all the
Perception
people?
would be to sense
Perception.
motive. And anybody
All right.
can do that. I know you seem to be interested in the negotiation too. I would call for a perception check.
Yeah.
And Thorn, you're sort
Yeah.
of observing things.
I'm
What do you think
watching.
about these people?
Hero point.
Hero point.
21.
I'm going to use a hero point.
All
as
right,
well,
hero
too.
point for Thorn.
Oh, you have to do it in the box.
In the
Okay.
box. In the hero point
One at
box.
a time.
You first.
29.
All right, here I go. No. 16.
16. Okay, so you're just sort of an oblivious person in general when you're talking to people. You trust these people. They said they're here for the good of
Absolutely.
you. Are like, great, they'll handle it. They're here for
I'm
everybody.
just the opposite. I don't trust anybody.
You don't trust it, but you know what? You're getting, again, like your street smarts are coming into this. And you get what's happening here. He's bargaining for power. Bartimus doesn't really understand the level of power that he's bargaining for, but what he's asking for is literally to be one of the most powerful people in the city after he has. If this machine works and it does what it's intended to do, the Iron Collective will be a force that must be reckoned with for the rest of VANTAM's future. He's making a power play here. It's something that you've seen on a smaller scale many times in your past. And he's definitely in it for himself, but you don't think he's insincere about wanting he wants it to work. He wants this to be okay. Like he's not, but he wants the power that's going to come with it for sure.
So to Lenore's earlier question,
Yeah.
Bartimus says, well, my dear, of course, in any great machine or invention, there are certainly things that could go wrong or mechanisms that could malfunction, but there's nothing inherently in the machine that would cause anything untoward. And to be frank, I like this Finley here. He's got a very kind smile and soft eyes. And I look right at him.
Aye.
We can certainly do our best to bargain with Mr. Lear, but if
Listen, Lear is on your side. If he's back in this endeavor, he's going to sign whatever you bring in front of him. You need at least one other vote from the triumvirate of community managers. You bring us documents that establish the Iron Collective will own the machine when it is completed and have autonomous operating control over it, and you've got yourself a work crew.
I don't believe you should have full ownership of it to begin with.
I don't care what you believe. And here we are.
what if they should only accept partial ownership? Would that be acceptable?
There might need to be some sweetening of deals then.
Okay.
I mean, I am a businessman. I am here to negotiate.
That's fair.
But I would like to know what you intend to propose then. You know, I mean, look, your machine failed and exploded and nearly killed
Oh,
other people.
no, it didn't.
But I would say you are a skilled individual and you're ambitious. And I'll tell you what. We will agree to a democratic council established with members of Resolve and members of the Iron Collective, and we will manage it as a community. Okay, maybe like something like a 50-50 kind of deal. All right, we can agree to that. That's fine. We're very reasonable down here. We just
Yes, of course.
but if we're not going to own the full machine, perhaps there's something else that we could take. I see you have a delightful contraption right there, right by your side.
Bartimus is completely unaware of what you're talking about.
Sure. Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, yes, I do suppose this jacket is very interesting. It has sort of some spring-loaded mechanisms, or was it this?
No, it's the creature there, the Philip.
I'm sorry?
The Philip.
Oh,
device.
this is no creature. This is my very best friend, Philip.
Is he okay?
I think so.
Philip, he's fine, of course. Look at him.
He's
Well?
convinced
Convinced of what?
that everything.
Of just whatever he says. He's very convinced of whatever comes out of his mouth.
Well, I'm confused. Did you want to have a discourse with Philip?
You leave Philip here.
Oh, well, that's up to Philip. Oh, it doesn't look like he's going to want to stay.
It's just a potential option. a
We
suggestion.
haven't looked all around the city, you understand, for places to stay. We've been just staying at a local inn, but I mean, we could. Do you want to sleep here? Well, he's open to it. We do like the smell, and the machine whirring is a nice white noise to put us to sleep.
I don't think we can negotiate with this one.
We will be negotiating with Mr. Lear, and perhaps we won't need any sweetening. Who knows? We'll talk to them about the council, and then we can decide on sweetening if needed.
Look, I think we can manage this. I personally would leave him out of most of the talking that you do with anybody else. But it does occur to me, if we're your work crew, you are also going to need a facility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do not go out into the city. I stay here in my workshop. I oversee the Iron Collective. But I do have some friends that you could talk to who might have more experience out in out in the wilds here, who might be able to get you a good line on a place where we could build this thing together.
Who might that be?
You're gonna need to talk to Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Boy, that does sound like a wonderfully inviting name.
And you can make a society check on that name as well if you would like.
Jeez. Nothing. Oh, God, live in
There's always.
VANTAM and I don't know anything. Hero point, Jim.
Yeah.
Hero points.
Freaking from VANTAM and I know nothing. Anything. Anybody.
You're
Going in the
distracted
box.
by all
Do
this
better
talking.
society.
It's an 11.
I have a 17.
17. Yeah, you're just not sure. But he says, you know what? Go talk to Cerberus. You find him on the market level. He's a scrapper, and he has teams out all over the city. And if there's anybody who knows where this machine's home should eventually be, it'll be him.
Great.
And where can we find him?
On the market level.
And you know where that is, Thorn?
Do I know where that's at, Jim? Do I have to make a
Sure,
society
yeah,
check to
you
make
could
sure?
get to, yeah, there are several, like, yeah. No,
Yeah,
not an
that's
issue.
one place that I do know.
Not an issue at all.
Okay. Great. We can stop there, right?
Oh, yes.
Perfect. Thank
We
you
could go there.
for the recommendation.
Sure. I'm just here to help.
As we are as well.
Well, all right, let's go.
Thank you for your time.
Thorn opens the door, allows
Sure.
the two of them to leave. Just kind of glances back and just looks at him just for a hot second. Kind of just takes them all in, and then he walks out. as
Sure.
well.
Get out. Nobody tries to stop you as you leave. I mean, you get back to the lift itself. But you see the lift is not there at first. It actually comes down. And in that lift is somebody that you've never seen before. It's just another man. He says, Mr. Lear needs to speak with all of you right away. There's been a bit of a development.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Come on, Philip.
That was a quick development. I'm sure.
Okay.
I do like Mr.
And
Lear.
this wasn't the same guy that
No,
talked
this
to
is
us
somebody
before.
you haven't seen yet.
Oh.
I look at these two and I say, well,
Perception?
Yeah.
with. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just gonna do, like, if we've never seen this person,
Yeah.
I guess I'd do a perception check
Go ahead. Yeah. You're allowed.
if they're
It's
being
encouraged.
truthful or.
Hero point.
Hero points.
Hero points!
Right.
We have so many. Thanks to
It's
all of you.
recommending pretty.
Actually, we have 3 left. I know that the digital tracker's a little behind
Oh
us.
yeah. Just so you guys know, if you want to throw more out there. Oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Okay.
There's been a development. Mr.
Okay.
Lear needs to see you right away.
I say, now that was such an interesting conversation with Finley. What do you suppose all that was about? I think that he's perhaps feeling discarded. You know, a sub-basement is not necessarily the nicest facility. I'm sure that he would like some more upward mobility in the community. So I could see perhaps working some sort of deal with the 50-50 might be a good decision.
That would be best. Most groups such as that, especially here in VANTAM, having as much power as that has never been good.
Interesting. It feels like you know that by experience.
Yeah, especially the past few years. And honestly, seeing something such as your machine actually work, I don't know, there was something that... Hope is not something that's really big in VANTAM.
Oh, well, I don't know how I could go on without hope. It's one of my driving forces. Wouldn't you agree? I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, don't make any deal of allowing, especially a group just such as that, have all the power.
Well, it does make sense, and I'm glad you two were there to step in because, you see, I was very apt to make the deal, but I was not considering all the various other, pardon the term, machinations that were going on.
Well, I suppose it'll be up to the council's decision then.
Now, I would like to do a perception check to see what level we're headed towards, Jim.
Sure.
Because I didn't press the button, but I know how this machine works.
Sure.
So where are we going?
Mhm.
That's what I'm curious about.
We've been kidnapped.
Now, you could certainly dock me anything, but the roll is a 25
Okay.
because I was talking, so I understand if there's any negatives there.
You are headed to level 21.
But that's 2 level. And Bartimus, like, there's nothing suspicious in Bartimus's head. He's just like, oh, this guy obviously made a mistake. So Bartimus just leans over, just like while he's still talking, he's like, oh yes, I think we should be, it just flicks like the lever to go to 23.
Sure. As you go to reach for it, the guy says, oh, no, I know where we're going.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I think you may have made a mistake. You see, you hit 21, and we need to be going to 23.
No, we're not going to the
Oh, it's fine. I can handle it. It's no problem. So I continue to reach.
Sir, we're not going to the Mr. Lear needs to see you on 21.
Oh,
He said there's been a
on
development.
21?
There's something you need to see.
Can I ask Thorn what's on 21? If Thorn knows? Does Thorn know? I don't know.
Society check.
Hey, better.
17. What's on
Nice.
21?
Not much of anything.
Okay.
21 level 21 is a basement level that was never fully reconstructed. It's open to the elements a lot, so there's nothing official there because I mean it's just not a livable space. Sometimes people will go there. It's really just sort of like it's a spot where typically people just go to hang out. Like
Kids
people
after
just go to
school.
hang out there. Nobody's supposed to be there, kind of deal. Like,
One of those places.
yeah, it's one of those places.
The under the bleachers at school.
Yeah, it's under the
I got
bleachers
you.
at school.
I got
Yeah.
you.
So as I was not suspicious of this guy, now with the perception, if I did another perception check for insight into him,
Yeah.
would I'd like to see that.
Certainly try to do
Because
it.
because Bartimus definitely was
Yeah.
not thinking there was anything. Count it. 1. Hero point.
Yay!
Getting them heroes out, y'all.
All right, here we go.
2 left.
Hero point in the box.
Oh yeah, in the box. I forget. Sorry. It's my own rule. That was a better roll outside the box. 17
17.
perception.
He says, no, I got this.
All right,
He's on 21.
I guess we're going to 21. All right.
So you get to 21, and the door opens, and you can see that this is a large area that likely was home to some minor businesses or another in its prime, but now it's mostly just an empty collection of rooms. It's very cold on this level, as the outer walls of this level are not entirely intact.
I'm okay.
And the people of Resolve never mustered the will or the resources to do the necessary repair work to make it one of the more habitable levels where people live. There you see a lot of graffiti on the walls, there's a lot of trash littering the floor. While no one lives here, it doesn't apparently mean that no one ever comes here, just as you suspected. There is sort of like an open doorway, and from there you hear, "I'm back here."
I'm walking up
Okay.
toward Mr. Leah.
I would step in first just to make sure
Sure,
that it's clear.
you step in.
okay? Yeah.
The three of you step in, and you see what appears to be Decon Lear. He's like hunched over this pile of stuff. Like his back's turned to you, and he's like poking through this pile of stuff. And he says, I need to show you something.
All right. And I just kind of motion for them that it's okay to come in. So like, what are you looking for? Anything we can help with?
Is there something that I could be of assistance with? Goes to like fumble for his.
Yes, Bartimus, I need you to take a look at this. It's incredibly important.
Oh yes, all right.
He stands up as you get near him. He says, I'm really glad you came because, well, it makes this a lot easier. And
Okay.
he smiles, and you're sort of focused on whatever it is, but you see when he smiles, his teeth are this like jagged row of toothy
Oh
shards.
my god, and his name is Lear.
His arm starts to like, it doesn't melt, but it sort of elongates, and you see these claws, and as Bartimus is like focused on whatever it is, he goes to try to strike out and just claw Bartimus's throat open. And since you notice all of this, you're roll initiative.
Bartimus! Oh, okay. Uh-oh, battery running low.
I'll be honest, I may have been distracted, but I'm quick on my feet.
You've got those big ears and arms and eyes now.
28.
28, roll Barty.
Jesus.
Thorn.
I need it. I'm gonna use a hero point.
Hero point on initiative.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I know. In the box.
Save
in the
it
box,
for
there we
that.
go. Come on. Okay, it's better. 21.
21, that's pretty good.
17.
Lenore with a 17.
If my tablet dies, I'm gonna just have to whack him with my staff. Because I don't know.
Bartimus, you notice, you hear Lear's voice change and get like really weird, and you turn, and out of the corner of your eye, all you see is this blur of motion coming at your face, so you react right away. What do?
Well, you have to understand that what you've described is true. I do see all this, but more to the point, what is it, Philip? Yes, of course. What is it that you want? And then, oh, dear me. Okay. And so then you hear this whirring and clicking and popping and buzzing of Philip, and he started, and then he bolts
Okay.
right from where he is into Mr. Lear.
Sure.
Headbutts him.
Mhm.
And that is an attack. Okay, I accept this. 29 to hit.
That is a critical hit.
A critical hit.
He's not immune to criticals.
He's
so you
not
can deal critical
immune,
damage.
Jim. He's not immune. Now, do I double all the damage?
Yep,
Is that
everything
correct?
gets doubled up.
All right, I'm going to do that. That was pretty good. 9, 18 plus 8 is 26 points of
26
damage.
points of damage. Yeah, Philip strikes this Dakon Lear right in the midsection, and there is he just doubles over in agony. He sort of like throws off his as he's coming in at your face. Make a will save.
All right, I'll do that. Just calm down. I'll do it. Me make the will save, not Philip.
You.
Okay. 20.
20.
Dirty.
As Dakon Lear like doubles over and like wobbles on their feet, you see it's like their skin or like it flickers, and you realize that you're looking at an illusion, not of the creature, but of almost like a layer of illusion over this creature's true features. And now that you're aware of it, you can sort of see through them a little transparently, and you see like gray, gaunt flesh, jagged, crooked teeth, and these almost bright red, glowing eyes.
Knowledge, Jim.
If
I would like
you
to
can take an action.
identify. Yes.
Huzzah for the knowledge!
Huzzah!
Religion.
Religion.
Yes.
Okay. Knowledge, religion. Great.
Hogan's
Here we
got
go.
that.
Yes. I know Hogan has lots of things, but does he have a 28?
28. Not only can I tell you exactly what you're looking at, you were looking at the gaunt, undead form of a wight.
Are you gonna tell us what it is?
Do you want to know about... I can give you 2 pieces of information. Do you want to know about offense or defense?
I want to know. You said 2 pieces of information. Can I know one of each?
Yep,
or no?
absolutely you can.
Yes, one of each.
Okay, you know that they are immune to diseases and paralysis, and you know that just before being destroyed, wights are so spiteful and so hateful that just as at the moment of destruction, they lash out one final time before they are destroyed.
I say, be careful, everyone. It's a white, and other stuff. And Bartimus will tell. Actually, hold on. No, I can't do that. Okay. Cool. So he's gonna actually look at Philip and say, "Prepare yourself, Philip. There could be great evil when we finally fell this beast." And he's also going to then do his little arm locky thing where the slinkies
Overdrive.
come out, and he's gonna overdrive.
All right, make that check.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get used to this crafting. Yes, okay. I succeed.
Okay,
I'm not
great.
going to do the math, but I know what the math is. It succeeds. So I succeed at that, and I will take a step.
So I believe
No,
because
I think I've done everything.
You
I
had,
commanded.
Commanded Philip.
To Philip.
You overdrive.
I
And then you
overdrived.
did the religion check to gain.
And
Some
I did the
knowledge.
religion
So,
check. Thank you.
That's
Yep,
your 3
that's right.
actions.
I
which
know
takes
how to
us-
play Pathfinder 2nd edition.
It takes us to good old Thor, and you see there's danger afoot.
Good old Thor.
Make a free perception check. I'm not supposed to give you them for free, but I'll make
Free?
one. Yeah.
I like
the
free
GM is
perception checks.
benevolent.
19.
19. You hear some movement behind you, and you just like all the hairs in the back of your neck are standing up, and you get the feeling that the combatant in front of you is not the only person on this floor. And you recall the guy who brought you here, and you're wondering, I mean, if they're in on it too. They're coming up behind you.
Cool.
Oh, they had such a trusting face.
We all trusted that guy.
Trusty lion eyes. Okay. What is close to me? Is there anything close?
What do you mean anything?
Like chairs?
What can you throw?
Yeah, I mean, like,
He's into
there's lots
throwing
of...
things.
Any meat in here?
Roll a d4.
D4.
Con, did you take like an improvised weapon type thing?
Sure did not.
Oh, okay.
You
But
just
it's
really
working
like
out really
them.
well for me. 2.
You just really
There's like a
it.
chunk of masonry that would have some heft to it, but it's it would take you 1 action to get to it because it's not right at your feet. It's over by the sidewall.
Gotcha. Okay. Actually, what I want to do, I'm going to. I feel that happening on the back of my neck, and I'm gonna remember that, and then I'm gonna make a beeline straight for
Okay.
not Lear.
Not Lear.
Not Lear, and I want to. I'm coming into flurry of blows.
Sure.
Flurry maneuvers, actually, Jim.
Oh.
Because now I can, as one of my actions of flurry of blows, I can turn it also into either a trip, a shove, or a grapple. I'm gonna go
Okay.
up, crack him in the stomach. I'm gonna then duck down, and I'm gonna sweep the leg.
You're gonna sweep the
To
leg.
knock him down.
Okay.
So I'm gonna punch him once and then sweep the leg.
All right.
Okay, punching. See if this guy goes good. Jim, that is a dirty 30.
A dirty 30 is a
Dirty 30!
critical hit.
Powerful. Okay. Okay. PF2 rolling twice.
This is Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
This is okay.
Roll twice, double your bonuses.
15. That is a total of 30 points on the first one.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, with
Four
the
darts is
massive critical from Philip already, you just crush this creature's skull, and its bones shatter under the weight of your fist. And you come away, and there's like chunks of like ooze that are just stuck to your flesh. And the creature just has this giant hole in its head, and it just drops to the ground. And you have this black, oozy blood all over you. Flick it off your wrists. But that was it. It's
So-
dead.
And then it blows up.
Nope, it's completely destroyed.
Oh.
So actually, with my maneuver, when I do that, before it falls, I want to grab it and I want to hold it and I want to walk towards the front door and just like hold it there.
Okay.
At the front door.
You grab a hold of it.
And I'm just standing there with this pissed off look
Sure.
on my face, looking straight at the doorway.
Was this the guy that was behind us, or was this the white?
This
This was
white.
Jack and Lear, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Oh, I thought it was the one behind us. Oops.
Nope. No, the one that was behind you actually comes bursting into the room now, and it sees you, Thorn, and it goes, "Bleh," and his jaw just opens way too wide, and he hunches down low and launches himself at you, and tries to claw at your chest. Ooh, it's not. That's probably a hit. That is a 27.
This is a hit, Jim. Even with the bad magic on it.
You get the old slash. That's going to be 7 points of slashing damage. And I need you to make a fortitude save.
Oh, shit, you said it's white.
Yeah, whites aren't good creatures to fight. What'd you get?
Hero point!
What if we just don't do hero points for this one? If we just like keep the result? I'd really love to know what.
This hero point, Jim. Thanks, Adam.
Okay.
We're down to one last hero point.
One last hero point. Here we go. Make it better.
Oh!
Oh, you said fortitude?
Yeah.
Jim, that is a 32.
Okay. As it slashes across your chest, you almost feel like as its hand is leaving away, everything sort of like slows into slow motion, and you can see like droplets of your own blood are almost being sucked out of the wound towards this creature, but then you like focus your key and you like force this creature back away from you, and the effect, like, it doesn't do anything to you.
Good. Thorn doesn't like to bleed.
But it does take one more slash at you because it has one more action to take. My friend, that is a natural 20.
Oh, no!
27 is a hit, but it raises to a
Huzzah.
critical hit.
Don't worry. I know many operations to be able to
but
help.
he doesn't like bleeding though.
You take 16 more points of damage, slashing damage, and I need you to make another fortitude save.
Another fortitude. It's a 20.
A 20 is a success. You feel that sort of pulling as it tries to like rip some of your life force away from you, but you are able to resist the effect. Although you are still rather badly hurt by the just initial rake of its claws.
And it's sitting there, its mouth open. I'm just looking at it and just like breathing heavy now, just like blood. And
Lenore, it is your turn.
Seeing these spooky, scary things, I'll probably scream and I'll cast my one holy spell.
Oh,
Searing
there we
Light.
go. Oh
So
no.
you'll see, even though she's glowing, you'll see a much brighter light come out of her palms.
there's no brighter light than you, Lenore. You're the bright one.
Thanks. I'm gonna use a hero point.
Hero point!
Final hero point, ladies and gentlemen. Here it goes.
Please, let
final
me do
one.
something cool.
Come on, let's send it for a go.
Oh, in the box.
I know, I'm shaking it really
Here it
good.
goes.
That is a critical hit.
Hero points
Okay.
for
Oh
Red
no, my tablet just died. How much damage do I have?
You deal. The ray deals
It's
5d6
5d6.
fire damage. If the target is a fiend or undead, it is undead. You deal an additional 5d6 good damage.
Ooh.
On a critical success, you deal a double damage. So you deal 10d6 damage and double it.
Okay, hold on.
Do you want
I
before
already
this?
Oh
have
my
5
God.
damage. Yeah.
You got enough?
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
I was gonna say I got some too.
Hold on. I can't roll them all at once.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Okay, fine.
I'll help with
Yeah,
that.
you
Fine.
can.
Going with some math.
Roll them in the box. Roll them in the dice box. Let's
This
do it.
box?
Let's do the
The
big.
magic box. Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, do the magic box.
Okay, magic box.
Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes.
Who can do the math fastest? That's at least 1 6. 5.
12,
Oh god.
16,
don't know if I
20,
do it.
27, plus 6, or plus 8, 27 plus
35?
8, 35.
35
30.
times
Double.
2.
70 points of fire and blazing magicness!
And my
Wow.
eyes are closed.
And,
It's like, ew!
and your magic is actually better too.
Oh, and
Now
I
you
get
deal
2
bonus damage
Wait, 2
because-
extra damage? or
Well, it's 1 extra damage, but it's doubled as well on the crit.
37!
70.
74
74,
points
yeah.
of fire and holy damage. So this creature comes in, it's just tearing at Thorn's flesh, and you all hear this shriek from Lenore, and the entire room becomes just this blinding flash. Like you all are like blinking, and you especially, like you can't see, and as you're, there's the light. After maybe like 30 seconds, your vision clears. And both the body of the creature that you destroyed and the one that was attacking you are just completely gone.
Oh,
like there's
no.
just nothing left.
We won't get any samples.
There's just a pile of clothes on the ground.
There's a raid! Hi, Raiders!
We just totally smashed things. It was good.
Wow. There is a just pile of clothes and a little bit of ash on the ground.
Oh, I'll take some of that. My little shoes.
And as Lenore is collecting some of the ash, Dakan Lear runs into the room in an absolute panic and says, "You are all in terrible danger. Wait. Oh. I guess it's all been taken care of. Very good. And we'll have to deal with the aftermath of this on the next episode of Heroic Endeavors. Because we've come to the end of the one for tonight.
We VANTAM.
Wow.
We VANTAM. Yeah, that's right. This is VANTAM. This isn't Heroic
We
Endeavors.
won't
this is
deal with it
VANTAM.
on a Heroic
It
Endeavor.
doesn't matter. There's too many shows.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Woo! Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting us and for watching and everything. We'll see you next time.
My friend.